All right, so Best Friends Girl by The Cars. This is from their 1978 album, debut album actually, produced by Roy Thomas Baker, who produced a lot of really big bands, including Queen and Free, and there's a whole list of bands that he's produced. Excellent song, three chords. It's a three-chord song, but it's what they did with it, and especially the guitar playing by Elliot Easton, who is just an excellent guitar player. And of course, Rick Ocasek's playing is pretty cool too. Like, it's not super complicated, but he's got a real unique sort of touch and feel on the instrument, right? So, in this lesson, we're going to go over all the rhythm parts, the fills, and I did a demo of it, and you can watch that if you click that eye up there in the corner or the link in the description box below. Go to my website, and I always have the demos of the songs I do on there, because a lot of times I'll put those up as separate videos, and I get a lot of people saying, well, gee, you should really play the song first before you teach it, and I always do, but many times I'll do it in a separate video. Okay, so let's get on with it. We're in the key of E for this. Now on the record it's in the key of F, and what happened was they recorded it and they thought it was too slow. So the only way to do it back in those days, before digital recording, Pro Tools and all this kind of stuff, they had to speed the tape up. So they sped the tape up to address the tempo issue, and it wound up putting into the key of F. So if you hear it on the record, it's in the key of F. But if you watch him play it live, it's in the key of E. And it kind of has to be for all those cool sort of rockabilly licks that Elliot Easton plays in it. All right, so let's get on with it. We're going to start with Rick Ocasek's part, and it's going to go like this. All right, so all that is just an E chord, E power chord, with heavily muted on the bridge with your palm, heavily palm muted. And then we go to an A, and then we go to a B, but we don't do the B like that, like a lot of people might think. What makes this song sound the way it does is that B is like that, so we got that third in there. So we've got two power chords, and then the B has the major third in it there. And then to get back to the E, he's going to kind of do this little skip. And that's just sort of it's a down up, and he's sort of catching part of that open D in that transition. I'll try and do it real slow. Kind of like that, but sometimes he doesn't hit anything, he just kind of clicks. Like so. It's really unique to him, his style, proprietary to him. And then the second or third time through, he changed it up a bit and goes like this. We're just hitting the octaves there. So let's go over the first two or three times of that lick. And then the singing starts, and it just repeats that until we get to this. An A power chord, but up here like an E-shaped A chord. And from there on in, we don't do that little skip. It's just all right, and that's pretty well all there is to Rick Ocasek's part. Now, the first part that Elliot Easton plays is this part. got going on there is just open E, bend on E3 to the B note on A2. A4, A2. A4, D2, and then open D, D1. All right, that's that part. And then in the next bit, like so. We're just hitting an A chord down here in the first position. Just a down up with the A string in between. And then we're sliding up in those bar chords. And then to get back to the A, we got that open A. Alright, and that's all there is to that part, except for in the end of the song, he changes it up a bit and he goes. We're just sliding into that B note. 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Really cool, really country sounding. Okay, and that's it for that part. Now, let me just change over my sound here and we'll get into those like Rockabilly Fills. Alright, so I've put on some slapback delay. It's about 200 milliseconds digital delay, and I put my compressor on. So the first fill that he does is this. Really cool. And he got the idea from this fill from the song I Will. And if you click that I up there in the corner or the link in the description box below and go to my website, I'll put a little article I found out with some information about all that stuff. But if you think about I Will, a lonely lifetime, if you want me to, I will. Okay, so that's where that came from. He basically ripped it off, but he admits it, because that's just an influence that, he used to come up with his guitar part for this. So how he's doing that, like where Paul will play that all down there in the first position, Elliot Easton kind of likes to go like this. So we've got open E and then B2. Now we're going to shift positions and get into this C-shaped E chord, but we don't need our little finger there. And that, we don't even play that. We're just kind of forming that. It's just... And then 1, 2 is a G. And we're going to get our little finger on B5. And then he kind of goes, he gets the B there, hammering on the G string down to the E note on D2. But you could go, get the B string open if you want. It wouldn't make any difference. Like, there's a million ways you can play this. I'm trying to show you how I think he played it, just mostly based on watching his live videos. Ending up on the third of the B chord, B4. So that's the main, and that happens a ton in the song. And there's one variation that he is on that where he ends it a bit different. does that little slide from E4 to E2. And other than that, it's always like so. All right, and then there's another variation of that fill where he goes like this. And that's just before the solo. So that's just... It's the timing on that that's a little funny to get. And then it goes into the solo. And there's one more thing that he does, and that's in the second verse where he goes like this. Just love that part. It's so nice. So we're just kind of arpeggiating that A-shaped E chord on the 9th fret with a backstroke from the B string. And then we do this like A major type shape. So we've got 7th fret D and B and 6th fret G. Just slide up and slide back down. That's awesome. And then the next time, he seems to fill it in. All right, and that's pretty well it for all the fills. Now, in my demo, I did a keyboard part, and when the keyboards come in, they come in on that A chord. And I'm just faking those. So I'm just doing like an A to a B and getting the G and B string bouncing off the D string. And then in the next bit, we're going to go. So what that is just an E chord from the D string down, again heavily palm muted, and then the G, B, and E string there. It's like that, but just that part of it. And then to the B chord, but the B chord on the keyboard part is, it's got that sus4 in it, so it's 9th fret D, 9th fret G, and 7th fret B. All right, and those are the only two keyboard parts in the whole song. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I'm going to do the solo in a separate lesson, and it's just an awesome solo. I think it's only about 30-something seconds long. But there's so many techniques and cool ideas in it. And I'm going to spend time on that because you can learn a ton of stuff by learning that solo. Not only like technique-wise, but theory-wise too. I was reading about Elliot Easton, and I believe he went to Berklee School of Music, so he kind of knows his theory. And you can see when he constructs these solos, you know, it's a combination of his chops and his technique, but the theory behind it is also really cool and really logical and really clever. And part of, you know, the reason I really like him as a guitar player. Anyways, make sure you watch that. I'll have that up. If I don't have it up this week, I'll have it up next week. And there'll be links, you know, up there in the description box too. All right, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoy playing it. And we'll talk to you next time.